Okay, so I'm going to begin a new project here, and we'll look at making this Seidler designed house in Blakehurst, Thurlow House. And so you can see there the address, and we have this PDF file, which I'm going to bring into Revit shortly so that we can set up our main measurements in plan. And I'll just show you here that you can get to that on the P drive. If you go to the Student Resources folder and then Interior Design, CAD 2, Thurlow House. So you can see there the PDF file. You can also access it via the website, and I've put a link to the website there. Oh, okay, sure. I won't be too long. I'll just remind me next time and I'll release it. Okay, so I'll go to that website. I've already got it open, and so here we are. Okay, so you can access that PDF file directly from the website if you like as well. So, back into Revit, and I'm going to begin a new file just on the welcome screen using architectural template. If you've got a file open, you can always go to the main menu and then choose the arrow next to new, then project, and then this time from the list choose architectural template. And so at first you should always be using that template. So that will create a new blank file for me in Revit. While that's happening, I'm going to switch over to Photoshop, and I'm going to open that PDF file that I've saved. So this is a really important technique you need to know, because Revit won't let you insert PDF files. So I need to convert that PDF file into something else, and I'm going to open it in Photoshop to do that. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to convert it now. So in Photoshop, you don't need to import or anything like that. You just go to Open from the File menu. Choose the file. So this is our PDF file. Click Open, and it will come up with a dialog box where it asks you to give a resolution. And it's good to think about that, because the PDF file is most likely vectors, or it has some vector information in there. In other words, things stored as lines with a start point and an end point, but Photoshop works with pixels. So a line, instead of being an X and a Y value for the beginning and the end, is going to be a series of dots in a grid layout made up of pixels, or raster. So that is a pretty standard resolution, 300 dpi, and normally you can just keep it at that. But have a look at your file size whenever you go through this. Yeah. Yeah, if you need more detail, you can. Yeah. But remember, if I make it go to 600, I'm going to show you, that is going to be 4 times the size. I've doubled the resolution, which means it's double in each direction, in the width and the height. So it's 4 times, not 2 times. So, so you can see there the file size went to roughly 88 meg. Okay, so I'm going to keep 300 is usually okay, but yeah, 600 sometimes is good as well. Okay, so there's my PDF file converted into a raster format. In other words, pixels again. So now I'm just going to go Save As from the File menu and choose JPEG. So for things like this, JPEG is absolutely fine. And save. OK. And you can access that file as well. I've just saved it into the same folder on the P drive, so you can see there it is. And now in Revit, I can import that. But before I import it, I'm going to duplicate the view. So hopefully this is something you're getting used to in Revit, duplicating your floor plans especially. Yeah. So whenever you right click on any view, you can go to duplicate view, and like I've been saying, if you're not sure which option to use, just use duplicate with detailing. And now I'll just right click on my new plan view, go to rename, and we'll call it ground floor with plan image. You can call it anything you like really, as long as you know this is the one that has the drawing inserted. So now I'm going to go to the Insert tab, click on Image, and then find the file I've just saved. So there it is. Click Open, and then click to place it. So we've got it in Revit, but we don't know how big it is. Well, we have an idea. Over here actually in Properties you'll see the size, but we don't know whether it's the right size. Luckily we've got a scale bar here, and we know that should be 5 metres, obviously, because that's what it says. So I'm going to use the ruler up here in the Quick Access panel. If you haven't been using that, that's the easy way to get to the ruler to measure things. So I'm going to click there and then measure from one end to the other, just to give you an idea how random that size is. So it's 14.1 metres roughly, which is, roughly 3 times too big. So we need to make this smaller. And there's an easy way to do that in Revit. You just need to select the image and then click on the Scale tool. So I'm going to do that. I've clicked to select the image, and now I'm going to click on Scale, and I'm going to give a base point on one end of that scale bar, and then a second point on the other end. Just going to zoom in. It's basically on the centre. If you imagine there's a border going around that scale bar, the centre of the line, so slightly in from that edge. Out there. And then I'm going to bring that back to the left, just so that it's going in the right direction. We know it needs to be smaller. And now I'm going to type in the size it should be, which is 5,000. And then enter. So that should be the right size now. But I'm going to check. So again, clicking on the ruler. Get to it here as well. Just going from one end to the other. There we go, 4,999.3. That's close enough. Okay, so remember it's a series of pixels. You'll never get it exactly right, but if you can get it to within a millimetre, that's good. Even within 5 millimetres would be okay. So I'm zooming out now so that I can see all of my compass points, and then I'm just going to select that image and move it over to the left. Now remember, we've got 2 stories here. So we've got the ground floor, which is the entry level, and correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't been to this building, but I think is the ground floor the entry level? This isn't one with... the bathroom, the bedrooms on the lower level, are they? No. Oh, they are on the upper level. Oh, so it steps a bit. Oh, I see. So the landing's the entry. Okay, yep, good. Okay, so we'll say the ground floor is the bottom level anyway. The living area is the lower level. So I'm going to centre that within my compass points. Remember, these compass points are your elevations. So something like that. And then I'm going to select that image and then copy to clipboard. And now go to level 1 and duplicate it also. So again, duplicate with detailing. So I've got a copy of level 1. Going to go to rename again, and we'll call this level 1 with plan image. So now I need to paste that image in, and you need to go to the Modified tab to find Paste. So I can then just here paste from clipboard and click roughly to place it. Now, how do I know where this needs to go to line up with the ground floor? It's very difficult because I don't know where the ground floor is underneath this floor plan. So exactly, reference planes. That's the way you should be thinking Right, so you can see hopefully now why reference planes will help you a lot when you're setting up buildings over multiple levels especially. So I've got my ground floor level where I want it to be. Maybe I'll just nudge that, so I've selected it and I'm using the arrow keys just to nudge that a little bit to fine tune the position. And now I'm going to pin it. So if you haven't used this tool, this is a really useful tool. Basically it locks things in position. In the modify panel there you can see the button just above delete. It's pin. Now back to the architecture tab, I'm going to draw some reference planes. And I'm going to zoom in so that it will show clearly the line there of the balcony. I can bring that down and go all the way through that wall and extend it so that it sticks out from the end a little bit, and then do the same going the other way. Then again on the right hand side. And so the more accurate you are here, the easier it's going to be when you go to do the next drawing. Now here, let's just see, yeah, so those things should be lined up across the drawing. So I'll go from this wall here. We've got the same wall on the next level. Right, so that's enough. I've got 4 reference planes there. If I go back to the original ground floor, we can see those without the image getting in the way. And now if I go to my level 1 with image, I can select that image, and then I'll start maybe on this corner here. I'm just going to drag that image across so that it lines up as best I can. So I'm going to zoom into each corner there, and you can see, well, we've got some issues. So this dashed line there, that is not the balcony, that must be the roof. So I'll bring this one up instead. That wall there, the end of that wall should be the same as the end of the wall on the ground floor. So I'm just going to check each corner. Slightly off there, but let's see, it's probably slightly off on the original. Yes, that's okay. So checking this corner here, and you can see then that line is now going straight through the window, which most likely lines up with the balcony, so that's good. Okay, so I'm happy now with the position of this plan, and I'm going to pin it as well. So my 2 images are lined up, but they're still showing too much. I don't need the first floor plan in this view. So do you remember what to do to take out things you don't want? Exactly, crop. So turn on your crop region here, and then you can easily crop out those extra things just to make your life easier when you're working in these views, so you don't have the extra things confusing you and everyone else. So that looks pretty good. And now going into the next view, same thing, turning on the crop region. Something like that. Okay, so those views are set up pretty well. Then we've got the heights to think about. Now, we'll have to spend a bit of time working out the actual floor-to-floor height, and I'll spend a bit of time with you on that. But I know just from looking at this section that we're going to need at least one more level. So you've got a ground floor, and then you've got a first floor, but we'll need a level for the roof as well. So just to finish off setting up the constraints, I'm going to go to the south elevation and just draw in a new level. So on the architecture tab, remember you've got the level tool over at the end on the right, in datum there. I'm just going to go left to right to make a new level, and I'm going to call it roof. Yes, tell me your name. And that's going to give me an extra floor plan and ceiling plan with that name. And so then the other thing I want to do there is check the references. So this again will maybe get you thinking about the way you set up not just your dimensions in plan, but also your heights. Because these reference planes, you can see, are only going up above level 1, because that was the only level that was there when I made them. Now that I've made that extra level, I need to extend the reference planes through roof, and I'll show you why. If I go to that roof floor plan, notice I can see the 2 reference planes that I've just stretched, but I can't see the other 2 that go the other way. So I'm going to go to either my east or west elevation, and you can see the other 2 reference planes there, and I'll stretch them through the roof as well. So you may have seen this happen already if you've made reference planes and then made some levels after that. Back to roof, and there we are. Now I can see all the reference planes. So I'll give you some time to do that, and then we can have a look at putting in main elements, which are going to be walls, floors, ceilings, and then windows and doors.